Hello there. Welcome to the Kirk Minihane wrap-up show for May 26, 2021. Today's show was Minihane versus Lockwood, which will be coming to a Rough and Rowdy near you. I'm excited. We really haven't had a Minihane or Minifan fight in Rough and Rowdy. I know a couple of years ago, we had people from the area and Kirk brought them on the show, but no, this is going to get Minifans interested in Rough and Rowdy, and it's going to get juices flowing. A Kirk Minihane versus Hank Lockwood fight is going to be one for the ages. I am joined today by Tim and Canton. Tim, how you doing?
Hey, buddy. Good to talk to you again. Glad to be back on the KMS wrap-up, buddy.
Yes, glad to be back.
Redemption. Oh, what are you not supposed to yell?
No.
Redemption. Look at whole new attitude, whole new role, Justin.
That's
Congrats.
right. So as some people may have known, the last time Tim was on, we got the show canceled. So let's try not to do that today. It was.
What do you mean we? What do you get a mouse in your pocket?
No, it's not on you.
No, I'm just shitting. Yeah,
but it's
good turnaround. Good turnaround, buddy.
It is.
You sound better. You're already doing other things. So looks like things are working out. Glad for you.
So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is just that general topic. Craig was in today. Blind Mike's producer for the Blind Mike project. I don't know if you've listened to that show or if you are familiar with Craig.
I am. Craig was on Decent Signal once. Nice guy. Very nice guy. Not very excitable.
No, I think he took the minimalist approach today, which I think you can go in with the minimalist approach, or you can try to go in and make a splash and kind of make a name for yourself. And I think Craig did the right move and kind of went for the very subtle. I'm not really trying to cause any controversy here. He's trying to be on the down low.
I agree. I think it seems like he went into it as this was an opportunity to produce the show, not become a character on the show. And when I say not excitable, that doesn't mean Craig's boring. Exactly. It just means that he seems very even keel. He seemed focused, and I mean, I thought he did a good job. There were a couple of little things like not even the producing, but not being able to find the number to Stacy. That was funny. Yeah, but from a production standpoint, it seemed like everything went fine.
Yeah, no, it seemed like he brought in. He had some phone calls to play. He had some songs to play. Which I will say the songs weren't the best. I mean, the one produced by Matt Morrell, the rap one, very well produced. Rhymes are great. This wasn't funny, and the main thing about the parody songs is they have to be funny.
No,
they have to have that hit you in the face moment.
Yeah, and they got to jump right in. And I told you before the show, I haven't heard the entire show yet. I've been pretty busy today. And just for reference, Matt Morrell is Marine Matt, who is also on the Blind Mike podcast.
So a little team up there between the two producers of that show,
using their advantage of being on. That was a smart move by them.
But let's talk about the prank phone calls. So this guy. So I want to talk to you real quick, a little bit about Monday's episode.
So do some other people. And just for clarification, when Kirk has said, my parents must be proud if they're alive or dead. My mother, my father's dead. My mother, her memory is shot, but she did one time. I don't want to say scold, but I had called into the Howie Carr show when Jackie Mason was on, and I gave Jackie Mason a hard time, and she had heard it and said, "What is my problem? Why am I bothering old men?" So I keep that in the back of her. She would not be happy with the call the other day.
Yeah, she just seems to be one of those people who, some people get the show, some people don't. She might be on the.
I think she gets my humor, but she just doesn't understand it. If that makes sense.
Would you have her make a prank phone call into this man and talk about fisting Mike Geary?
My mom?
Yes. Would she be willing to?
Would I have her do it? 100%. Would she be able to? Absolutely not. She has dementia, so she would not be able. Yeah, my poor mom would not be. She'd given her all I think I would be laughing too hard to try to get this.
Oh God!
I used to prank call my own mother. So
the interaction between her and this radio host would be.
It made me think of her because I think he's about the same age. He did mention he has children that are 57 and 56.
Okay.
And so there was a tiny bit of felt guilty because I think they might have clued him into what was going on because he'd mentioned he got a couple.
When he gets to the point where he's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He hasn't hung up on you yet, and you know, and you're just like, fingers in the ass.
To Kirk's point, there's some vernacular that's used, like "chiz." That's kind of my age and later. Excuse me, and later, right? Even though the word's been around for a long time. So I not surprised he didn't know that. Fisting, I did not expect him to know that at all. But when I started to describe it, I can't believe that's the point where Kirk was talking about. I didn't think I'd get that far. When I started describing, like a little baby, you put the feet up and you just shove it. I mean, how do you not hang up? That just proves his point. He's not listening.
Oh my God.
Right?
It's
and by the way, Craig played Blind Mike's. So first of all, my partner in crime is Blind Mike's daddy.
Okay.
He is gold at finding these stations.
Okay.
They played the call that he called in on. He clearly said, "Stick fingers up Mike Gary's ass and reach around." Yes. And the host could only focus on, I don't know the person you're talking about. Anyway, so there's a lot more to today's show than the prank call, but that was fun.
Yeah, no, the prank calls were great. I do think it was great.
Thanks.
How Kirk was just like, yeah, I mean, does he not understand this? I could see where like an old person might think fisting is like an old slang term for fighting or something like that. Like I'm gonna fist you or something like that. But
totally.
But at the point when you're just like the jizz topping on the pizza, you gotta know at like, I don't know, you gotta just context clues here.
Well,
and
don't you think that there's probably 20 people listening to that show, and you take what you can get. There's no call screener. There's poor guy. He's just trying to burn some time. I'm ruining his fuck. Kirk is right. I'm an asshole. I'm ruining his day.
Oh, it was great though. I like it how I think he's a part of the universe now, and I hope we get some more.
Well, there is. I don't know if it'll get played on Friday, but again, Blind Mike's daddy finds these shows. He has been barraging a different show. And I pissed my pants listening to the call, so I chopped it up for him and sent it in. His calls crack me up.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so there's some hopefully good stuff on Friday.
I can't wait. So today's show, like I said before, the title Minihane versus Lockwood. I was expecting guns a-blazing Kirk, and I think Kirk came into the studio today willing to go guns a-blazing, but he wasn't going to go without Hank matching his emotion. And I think what we got today was Hank, as soon as the phone call happened, Hank brought the the tension in the room down. He's like, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, I mean, it's kind of, what are you going to do?
Where do you go from there? Like Kirk always says, what are you going to say? Where are you going to go from there? You can only... it's like when someone apologizes and you're pissed. They kind of take the wind out of the sails, and he gets it. It was funny that Hank just folded like a cheap suit.
He did.
Right?
Yeah, he did.
A lot of tough talk.
Yeah, and you could tell that Kirk had some things ready to go. He's like, oh, did you read your girlfriend's books? And he's just like, I don't listen to my girlfriend's podcast. It's just like, damn, he'll take anything right now.
Well, he got him with the pancreatic cancer again.
Yes.
That comment. He got him again.
I think Mike made a great point on today's show. It's like, Hank, there's nothing good can come out of you making this comment to Kirk.
Yeah.
Kirk's not going to be like, oh, I'm backing off. I will say it was funny to see some of the people say like, oh my God, can you imagine Kirk, wishing cancer upon someone? This is the most evil thing in the history of the world. It's like, listen to the entire segment.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know. I mean, please, like he meant it, but that was a good. So the stuff with Hank, it didn't lead into necessarily, but it had something to do with the whole Rico and Scott Nadeau, right? Yeah, or Nadeau, I don't know how you pronounce his name. The beef between those two Barstool guys.
Yeah. So former Barstool guy to do. He quit because he said, I can't work with Rico anymore. They were both gambling guys. They were both on the gambling show. They would go back and forth. And at one point, Nadeau said, it's either him or me. And I think President Dave said, well, I'm not firing Rico. So he left.
Which you're a Barstool guy. Who did you like better?
I wasn't a huge gambling guy.
Yeah.
I think Rico is probably the better content guy. He's more... Yeah. I mean, he's unhinged. I mean, if you just look up some Rico Bosco videos on YouTube, it's crazy what you can see. But it's sad to see that he picked Hank in this side yesterday. Kirk gave him an ultimatum and said, wondering who Rico's going to pick. Apparently, Hank is an original rider, and Rico's loyal, so he stuck with Hank, which was disappointing for me. I was a big rider. I was a big fan of Rico's. I'm no longer a big fan of Rico's. I think he betrayed Kirk. I think Kirk showed him nothing but gratitude, and to spit in Kirk's face like that takes balls. And I don't know if I respect him more for doing it, but
when you say spit in his face, you mean ally with Hank as opposed to Kirk?
Hank in this battle. I mean.
So, I mean, Kirk's biggest thing he'll always say is loyalty, right? Whether he agrees with it or not, it's about loyalty. So he respects that. He even said he respected his choice. So he's consistent. I don't know Rico. I've never seen him before the trivia. And I know one thing that Kirk does hate is the phrase ride or die. He hates it. So I think that would have won thin on him
I also
anyway.
Think he hates the whole behind the scenes thing, texting Kirk.
So
pick a side
and
stick with it. Because I think him texting him behind the scenes like, hey, we could still win a championship together. This is all blah, blah, blah. It's a joke. It's like, no, pick a side and stick to it. Don't teeter-totter on the fence here, Rico.
I was going to say the same thing. Looked like he was trying to play both sides of the fence there. Yeah, I'm going to go with my guy, but first I want to make sure it's okay with Kirk.
Yeah,
it seemed. Yeah, I thought it was pretty weak for somebody that claims to, have these strong opinions or strong alliances with people to first, go to Kirk and say, "Hey, Skip, is it cool? You got to understand there's basically begging out of it, which it's not a big deal, but given his personality,
I mean,
yeah,
we know how Kirk's going to react to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's just where Rico's ignorance comes in dealing with Kirk when it comes to that stuff. But it's sad to see him go. He would have been nice to have on our side for some fights, but doesn't look like it.
So and now the implications are for season 2 or next season of the Dozen Trivia, right?
Yeah, I don't see Rico being on the team.
Right.
I don't see Jared being on the team.
Yeah. Unless they do wrestling.
Dave and someone else, they're gonna have to find another person. So
do you think it'll be a Barstool person?
I hope so. I mean, I don't like it when they go outside Barstool and they bring in like Lisa Ann or they bring in a baseball player, because it's kind of just like, I don't know, that kind of ruins it. It's kind of like having a company softball league, but then your couple of your buddies bring their
couple ringers or whatever.
Yeah, it's
that's a good point.
It's just like, I don't know. I think they should keep it inside the company. And
I'm with you. I'm not a big Barstool listener or anything, but I do like when Kirk's on getting to know who some of the personalities are, and then having Rico on. I like that. I'm with you. I think as a fan, I'd enjoy that, but also, it would be funny if they had someone like Matt Fuller. Somebody from Kirk's past would be very interesting, or his best friend Jim Rossi, or Dr. Lacey. Those I think those would be funny for the KMS world.
Yeah, I just, but I think like the Dozen, I don't know. I think it's a Barstool thing. I think slipping in trying to turn it into like a Kirk Minihane show thing. Kind of. I know everyone's been sucking Jeff Lowe's dick these past couple of weeks. But it's, it's kind of his thing, and we should try not to, turn it into a joke.
But also, Kirk is the only team that is remote, And that is a little,
Not true.
Who was the Chicago team, right?
The Chicago guys.
Yeah.
There's some other people who were there's some people in Texas. There's some people in Florida.
But were they there for the finals, or they still haven't shown up?
There were a couple people
that were still remote.
So
yeah, it's just kind of awkward having one guy standing there and then two people on monitors.
Oh yeah, I think they were the only team that had one person
something like
just
that.
Stand there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see what season 2 of that brings.
I was going to say, I'm curious. So Mike mentioned that Hank used to be a pretty good baseball player. Is he descended from former Red Sox Skip Lockwood?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm going to assume no. But he might be a former baseball player, but I wonder how good he is with the mitts. So could you see Hank versus Kirk, rough and rowdy? Any chance of this actually happening?
That would be the first one I never watched. That'd be so great. So wait, before we get to that, who was Kirk challenged to a fight? Mike Tyson. Hank.
Pardon my tank. Hank.
Hasn't there been other people?
I mean, I'm sure he's challenged multiple people to fights, but I think it would be interesting to see 46-year-old Kirk versus 27-year-old Hank.
Oh, it'd be very interesting.
I think Kirk is more athletic than Hank thinks. I think Kirk could tire Hank out pretty easily and win.
Don't
by
they have
decision.
the same body type? Isn't Hank thin?
Hank's thin.
Yeah.
He definitely, if you watch his first Rough and Rowdy fight, you could definitely tell he juiced a bit to get some muscles growing.
Uh-huh.
But I like what Kirk said. He said, if the money's right, let's do it. And I think that would be big to get Minifans involved.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
That'd be Rough and Rowdy, and
that would be incredible. And like Kirk had said, he this is what I like about Kirk as opposed to someone like Hank who's worrying about the fight. Kirk's worrying about his corner.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
Who's his cut man, who's his corner man. He's already thinking beyond, are we going to fight? He's thinking about the whole event.
That's right.
Which would be freaking hilarious.
That's right.
So I think it'd be fantastic if they did it. Who knows if they're gonna maybe it'll turn into some other sort of competition, which I'd like to see as well. I don't know. Does Hank golf?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could mini golf or something. I like the idea they brought up a couple weeks ago of a mini golf tournament, which I think Kirk would just absolutely rock. So that is quite interesting. Let's get on to some disappointing news. Not from the show. It was very optimistic on the show when we heard that Madawaska was changing a street name to Minihane Way.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we find out that this is temporary, and they really seem to be taking this lightly. There was talk of appeasing. And they're like, well, we can't just rename a street. That's going to be a tough process. What do you want us to just build a park? And it's like, yes. So I don't think this is what Kirk imagined. I think Kirk on the show today was like, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. The street leading up to the town hall is now called Kirk Minihane Way. Just changing it for a day isn't really changing it. I mean, it's just they're just going to put a sign up and he can take a picture next to it. And then they go, it's
pretty much.
It's like when it's like when they let the kid with cancer be Batman for a week. It's like he's not actually Batman. It's like everyone's just pretending, and it's just like let Kirk actually get this street name. There's no reason as to why they can't start the process. Okay, maybe it takes a couple months to get the actual name changed, but get it rolling. Don't just change it for a day and be like, yeah, this can be Kirk Minihane Day. And to say that, I think there are other people up here who have done more for the Madawaska community. It's like, well, then name them. I didn't see any names being thrown out. So any
wait, were you there?
No, but in the article, I was going to go. I was told not to go.
And who went? Madawaska Rob, the guy with the name in it. He's kind of got to be there. His name is Madawaska Rob.
What a savage. I can't wait to hear that audio.
I am very much looking forward to his take on the whole thing from the other night. And you just said something that I keyed in on. You didn't say, why can't they change it now? But you said, why can't they start the process? So your point is, well, when it's not dead, let's talk about how we get it done, which is very reasonable. Very reasonable.
I mean, but I think we need to get them on the same page first. So,
well, as the new associate producer, are you taking actions to make this happen to keep the ball rolling?
Yes, I'm working to get this town selectman on the show Friday, so Kirk and him can have a discussion.
Oh, that's pretty good get. And what about
Kirk told me to do it, so I mean I'm going to do it. But
and what about getting something named for him? Are you going to take on that mantle and really pursue this to make it happen? Now, granted, it's probably not going to happen by June, but to make something happen at some point that's permanent.
Yes, I mean I would love to see it, and I'll do anything to try to get Kirk Minahan's name enshrined in Madawaska. There's no reason why it shouldn't be.
Maybe there's a boat ramp. Maybe
there's a new bridge being built between Canada.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen. I mean, that goes to politicians first who fleece us for the money to do it. So, but like Howard, do you know that Howard Stern had a rest area named after him?
No, he didn't.
In New Jersey, he did. So in New Jersey, he was for a time he was friendly with the governor of New Jersey, and I think it was a female, and she ended up getting a rest area named after him. And I think they saw that it was so difficult to get something renamed, and that was something. Yeah, and that was something that was it fit with Howard Stern. It was a rest area. So don't know if there's a mini golf up there. I know that wouldn't be town owned, but there might be other things or. I don't know, Justin. Maybe if the Minifans chipped in to have a statue made, would they erect something somewhere?
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But it's going to be interesting to hear Kirk react on Friday to the news that it's temporary. Because I think he tweeted out, he's like, I am not excited by this. This does not please me. This is not good. So.
And I thought that article was a pretty damn good article that Heather Catlin wrote.
Yep.
Very factual, because I talked to Rob. Rob called me and he told me what had gone on. It sounds like it was pretty factual, pretty accurate, and that there was some pushback. Essentially, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
So they'll know this June, that's for sure.
So that's right. So we got to go up there, and you got a ticket to Madawaska, right?
I do. Ticket, awesome. A room. Yeah. The only thing I don't have yet is the permission. So, Justin, the thing that I found the most interesting about that topic today was Stacy not knowing what the streets were in her hometown.
Well, see, I'm the worst at that. I mean, I live on. I was about to say what street I live on. I'm not going to do that. But I live on a street, and then I don't know the street next to me. I mean, I grew up in the age of GPS. I know some people who know their entire town street by street. I barely know streets, so I'm not going to shit on Stacy.
Okay, so all right, so you legit, you grew up in the age of GPS. I get it. You guys don't know phone numbers like we used to remember by heart. So, but she's older, and you've been to Madawaska, and I know where you live.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? Madawaska is probably, streetwise and in population, maybe half of where you live.
Way less. I'd say a quarter.
So how do you not 20%? Know the 10 streets in town?
Yeah, I think
especially the one the town or Rick's is on.
Yeah. So
I like that. I thought that was funny.
I mean,
and she's asking, is it north or south? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to hear Stacy's great. So, but it will be interesting to see Kirk react on Friday to that audio.
And guest producers coming in on Friday.
That's right. Tim
Ridgelt.
Tim and Madawaska Rob will be co-producing. Rob. So it's going to be lots of fun. I'm sure they're going to do a great job. And yeah, anything else from today's show you want to hit on, Tim?
No, just thought that it yes, I shouldn't say no and then add something. Yes, I thought it was very very light and fun show today. You could feel or you could hear basically the laid back and fun that they were having. Mike seemed to be Mike was on as well. He was laughing at a lot of stuff and making some funny jokes, and seems like old times where Kirk was rolling off of what Mike might say or what Kirk might Craig might say. So just reminded me some of the old lighter shows that they used to do. In like you had said, expected a big fight, and then when it didn't happen, Kirk just moved on.
Yeah. I will say though, good on. I did like the segment where Portnoy was kind of defending Kirk.
Yeah.
Seems like these guys, the Bustin' with the Boys guys, kind of never really. They heard of him only through like when he's been taking mental health leave or when he's in a fight with someone.
Yeah.
So they must have been thinking like, I think it was funny when Kirk's like, I'm not leaving because someone at Barstool called me out for something. And I think Portnoy actually made some good points defending Kirk there. So that's good to see the president of the company defend Kirk like that. So relationships.
He said, "Listen, I knew what I was getting when I hired this guy, and I wanted him, and I knew what came along with that, and he defended it."
And I just like it how Dave like doesn't try to sugarcoat it. He's just like, yeah, he's batshit crazy. He's got serious issues.
Yeah. Right. Yep. That was good to see because
sometimes around like, Kirk's got, he's got some things in his brain. It's like, no, he'll admit it. He's
not saying anything that Kirk hasn't said. And Dave also tweeted out today, there's a new KMS logo.
Yes. Beautiful.
And Dave was saying how much he loved it. He loved it.
Yes. Beautiful new t-shirt and beautiful new hat. I'm a big fan of the hat with the logo. New World Order style. Harrison made it. Go check that out.
Is that wrestling, and why are you getting a lot of chirps about your wrestling takes?
Because apparently I mixed up my wrestling eras or something like that.
All right.
I don't know.
I don't know dick about wrestling,
guy, but I am sweating my dick off.
All right, let's keep going. Now, let's do a marathon and see how long you can keep talking with the sweat.
No, yeah, let's. But yeah, no, it was nice to see. I mean, I'm sure Kirk would have the Bussin' with the Boys on to kind of just talk about, his mental health and things.
Don't even know who the fuck those guys are.
I haven't heard of them either. Apparently, they're like 2 NFL players, and
they're
signed with Barstool. So, it'd be interesting to see that. But Kirk challenged one of them to a fight today.
There you go. See, he's on a roll. He's feisty. He's ready to go.
Yeah. So.
Well, I guess the last thing I'd say is good job. No yawning. Way to go.
Not yet.
Not
yet. Not yet. So.
Is it tough to get 14 hours in this weather?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, I can
rolling around the whole time.
I can barely get my recommended 12, and it's kind of fucked. And this whole thing with me, I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it's tough.
Now, if you were Kirk's corner man, would you throw up in the bucket like you did on the challenge?
Oh, like I throw up for him?
Yes, like the milk challenge.
Yes. Or should I be in Hank's corner? And I'm just
and sabotage Hank.
Just being gross. I'm just being fucking disgusting. I think that might be the play. So.
See, there you go. There's that thinking of the role for you. See?
Okie dokie. Well, Tim, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, buddy. Thanks, Kirk.
I'll see you next Wednesday, and we will talk to you.